Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have Gabby Windey potentially spoiling the ending of her season of The Bachelorette. That's right. Tonight is part one of the two-part finale, 8 p.m. East Coast time. We have a 2-hour episode tonight. Next Tuesday, we have a 2-hour episode and then another hour of the After the Final Rose conversation. So next Tuesday is a 3-hour finale. We'll be live 1 hour beforehand tonight and right after tonight. So we'll be live at 7 p.m. East Coast and 10 p.m. East Coast. So definitely come join us for tonight's live stream after part one of the finale. Now, this spoiler right here, this shows who Gabby's partner on Dancing with the Stars, Val Trimarkovsky of Kiev, Ukraine, who he follows, which will reveal if Gabby is with her final choice. Also, a second photo has emerged from Gabby's Instagram account, hiding in plain sight, where we see a reflection of somebody, let's get the X-Files music, who might be Gabby's final pick. She might have spoiled 2 times yesterday. So we're going to get into all of that. Definitely hit the like button. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at DNeals for behind-the-scenes content, my stand-up comedy clips, and all that jazz. And I'm also on Patreon. I'm going live right after this, patreon.com/Dave Neal. So you're definitely going to want to join Patreon this week and next week, as we're going to have a ton of extra content to get through. And I'll be actually in Monrovia, which I think is somewhere in the valley of Los Angeles, Thursday night for a stand-up comedy show. So all that info is on my Instagram. And of course, our teacher of the day is Mrs. K. Link in the comment section if you want to donate to our teacher. And she says, "Thank you for donating items to our classroom. We can't wait to use them to create a fun and learning environment. Thank you in advance for everyone who's been donating." For free, you can go to Dave Neal's community on Facebook. We have a ton of new members over there, and I post my State of the Union, which, yes, I am sick. Physically, not emotionally, just a little rundown. And I discuss all the behind-the-scenes workings. That's free on Facebook if you want to join. All right, so here's where we left off with spoilers. I'm going to share the spoilers that were the season-ending spoilers. Now, wait, things have changed since then, but we need to know this before we move forward. So if you're ready to know, as far as where we stand today, before tonight's episode, we know that Gabby has a finalist. The last guy standing is Eric, and I'm also going to share Rachel's spoiler because that changes too. So if you don't want Rachel's spoiler or Gabby's spoiler, now's the time to click away. In 3, 2, 1, let's get into it. Here's what Reality Steve initially revealed as his initial spoiler before I share the updates. Good. And then the winner of this season of The Bachelorette. Are you ready for this? Rachel is engaged to Tino. As for Gabby, she's engaged to Eric. Now I hit the buzzer because as far as we know, spoiler-wise, that may no longer be the case. Now, I made a video last week about a potential fight that happened at a safe house visit. We shared the receipts from the Airbnb. The neighbors were saying there's a lot of screaming. Whatever happens tonight and next Tuesday is going to be shocking. We're going to be here to talk about it. Eric. So there's Rachel's Tino. Happily engaged. Congratulations. There they are, folks. And then here's Eric. Very nice. Looks like some sort of European pop star, right? Not too flashy, but he can sing a couple high notes. Yeah, doesn't he look like he's, the third member of the Coldplay band? Okay. So anyway, we've got all that information. And then Reality Steve confirmed that Tino and Rachel broke up after there were receipts and clues that their safe house visit went sour. We don't know why. But the question has been asked, are Gabby and Eric still together? As we know, he had his scandal this past week come out where it was revealed that he had a photo from 2011 in his high school yearbook in blackface. He has apologized. We've already covered that extensively. Some may say ad nauseum. I think these are good conversations to have. And now people are wondering, is Gabby still with this guy or what? What's going on? We don't have an update. Well, now we do. So if we look here, we know Gabby's dancing with Val Trimarkovsky, younger brother of Maxim Trimarkovsky. And of course, their partnership has led some clues to believe that Val now follows Eric, which is pretty obvious. That means Eric met Val because Val and Gabby are close. So obviously we don't see that Val is following Logan or Tino or any of these other people. Just Gabby, Selma Blair, Dana White, and Eric. All right, so that's that. Now there's one more piece of evidence we'll get to in a second, but I don't know how far to go into this, but real rough conundrums for Gabby here. She's got Eric, who has the unfortunate old photos emerge, and then now people are calling for Dancing with the Stars pro Val Trimarkovsky, Gabby's partner, to be fired after it was revealed he had some old clip surface. I don't even know how old it is, where he says the N-word in a song that he wrote, which is not a good look. And then he threw a Trump Mexican party. I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole because this is Dancing with the Stars content. Whoever's power recapping Dancing with the Stars, this is on them to cover. This is like a little far down. But what a conundrum for Gabby. And how heavy is that? No pun intended. This article at heavy.com. But of course, not everybody is pure evil or pure good. We know Val and his brother Maxim was in Kiev when the war in Ukraine actually broke out. Val Chmerkovskiy talks brother Max's escape from Ukraine during invasion and how they're giving back. So he actually has a non-profit where they are raising money for supplies. This is their warehouse in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Being unboxed here.
Val gave me a tour of a donated 5,000 square foot warehouse in Fort Lee, New Jersey that is filled with donations to his family's nonprofit for Ukrainian relief.
So there's a whole different side story there. We'll probably learn more about that on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, I can't imagine they won't be talking about it. In recent news in Ukraine, the Ukrainian army, the Ukrainian military has gained back a lot of land that they lost initially to Russia's raid. They're making a big movement to regain a lot of their land before winter. I'm no expert in foreign policy, but it looks like when winter comes, winter's coming, when winter comes, the grounds freeze over and it's easier for Russia's military vehicles to basically create roadways to keep invading. But the Ukrainians have resolve, and when we look at a lot of issues we have just on our day-to-day, we don't live in a war zone. Okay, we live in a world where we're talking about spoilers for a show that really doesn't matter at all. Now, we try to make light of it. We try to avoid, sometimes these videos are escapism. You just want to put something on and have a light conversation. I totally understand that. And then sometimes we juggle more difficult conversations. But either way, there's a lot going on there that Gabby is now sort of attached to, in the sense that her partner's, got family who's in a war zone. And we'll have to see how that plays out on their storyline within Dancing with the Stars. As we know, dancing is an expression, a creative and artistic and loving expression that really, you always see these celebrities go on Dancing with the Stars and they always end up crying, because it unearths all these emotions and things we've held onto in our life, and then they kind of release it in some beautiful way through trials and adversity. Okay, so our final clue, as we beat around the bush here, that Gabby is still with Eric. She posted this photo yesterday with Kate Gallivan. Kate Gallivan works for the Oppenheim Group, which of course is what Selling Sunset is about, selling overpriced property in Los Angeles. Kate Gallivan also on this season of Bachelor in Paradise, and of course was on Clayton's season of The Bachelor. But what do we see? Do my eyes deceive me when we look deep into this photo? Could there be some sort of clue? Wrong one. Could there be some sort of clue deep into this photo? Could it be that simple? That the truth was there all along? Pain in the soul, and then Eric in the window pane. Is that Eric with the mullet side profile right there in the window pane? You guys tell me. Looks like it. Now the question is he inside or outside? It looks like he's probably inside, because we see that he's behind this reflection of the sun there. So while the glare might have made it not obvious as Gabby banged out this photo here, the sleuths would have it no other way but than to realize that they've spoiled Gabby's season. So whether they're together or not, he's on the other side of that window as far as I can tell. And that's him right there, folks. So let me know what you guys think with regards to these spoilers. And we're going to have a lot to talk about. And I mean a lot to talk about after tonight's part 1 of the 2-part finale. Don't be a stranger. Join us on the live before and after. We'll have the voicemail lineup if you want to call in. Actually, you guys can call in right now. I'll play it on the pre-show voicemail, 401-213-9828. That starts at 7 p.m. East Coast, and then we'll go live after tonight's part 1 finale, 10 p.m. East Coast. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit. I'm live on the Patreon right now, patreon.com/Dave Neal.